This is the UX2 Hive, a lightweight honeycomb gaming mouse from Fantech. You see, after I reviewed the X16 Thor 2, I reached out to Fantech and asked them if I could maybe review the X17 Blake, which is one of their cheaper, more affordable mice, and they instead sent me the UX2 Hive, which is currently one of their flagships in their line of mice, with the other one being the UX1 Hero. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing a review of that as well. So anyway, I mean, it is what it is. And so given my great experiences with the X16 Thor 2, I am super curious to find out if the UX2 Hive performs and basically what this mouse brings to the table, or you know, the mouse mat. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into reviewing the Fantech UX2 Hive. By the way, just a bit of an addendum, this mouse should be technically similar or exactly the same as the Drevo Falcon that was recently covered by Hardware Canucks. So yeah, if you're interested in that mouse and you stumbled upon this video, then you've come to the right place. As always, we start off first with a bit of specs, and the nice thing when you get this mouse is that it comes in a really nice case with a sticker and spare feet for if ever you need that in the future. We can see the RGB poking through the honeycomb design, and some of you may already know this, but for those of you who don't, the honeycomb design in mice have risen in popularity in recent years due to them having good ventilation for your hand, and most importantly, being extremely lightweight, with mice weighing usually at about 60 to 80 grams, with some mice even weighing as low as 47 grams. Well, the UX2 Hive weighs 74 grams, making it pretty light and officially the lightest mouse that I've ever used. Now, some people mention that these class of mice are great for FPS games as it's easier to do quick movements and flicks due to the weight, so that's something that I'm really interested to find out. We also get an extremely lightweight and soft cable that is made of Paracord, which is really nice and most of the time doesn't even feel like it's there, and the left and right clicks use Huano switches that are rated for up to 50 million clicks. These are just a little bit heavy for my liking, but apparently some people like them for FPS games as they prevent accidental clicks. The same can be said for the switches on the left. And finally, we get to the scroll wheel where, while I'm perfectly fine with heavier switches on the mouse, the scroll wheel I find is pretty bad, as not only does the texture feel pretty uncomfortable on my fingers, so much so that I can actually feel a bit of pain after a while of using it, but it's also very loose and rattly and can get pretty irritating if you move the mouse very quickly. Have a listen. Closing off the top of the mouse, there is a DPI switching button behind the scroll wheel where the mouse itself will change its color to indicate the DPI levels, where if you install the software as well, you get a notification on the top left corner of your screen telling you the new DPI level. And finally, moving to the bottom, we see the feet that allow the mouse to glide really smoothly, along with one around the sensor itself, which is pretty nice. And we get a good look at the sensor of the mouse, the Pixar3360, a great sensor that is also used in professional gaming mice from companies like Glorious, Zowie, Cooler Master, and SteelSeries. It's rated at 250 IPS, 50 Gs of acceleration, and goes up to 12,000 DPI. Overall, the build quality of the mouse is pretty nice and solid with a rough matte black plastic finish that feels pretty good and is a big step up from the X16 Thor 2 that I looked at before, and while the profile of the mouse is quite ambidextrous, I still say that this is a right-handed mouse due to the positioning of these side buttons. The overall shape also reminds me of Logitech mice like the G Pro Wireless, which may or may not be a good thing, but for me at least, just like the Logitech mouse, I found it a little bit too small for my hands, and I would have liked a little bit more of a pronounced bump. Still, I didn't have trouble getting used to it, and it worked pretty well with my claw grip. In terms of software, of course you can just use the mouse as is, but to get the most out of it, you'd want to install the software for the UX2 Hive, and I really like the software of the mouse. It's a lot better, cleaner, and easier to understand and use than the one on the X16 Thor 2. As usual, you can do things like set macros, tune the DPI sensitivity, set the lift-off distance, and even customize the RGB lighting of the mouse. And once you tune in the settings that you like, if you ever decide to use this mouse on another machine, those settings will be carried over as it also has a built-in memory profile. We move on to gaming with the mouse, and I found myself being the most accurate that I've ever been on a gaming mouse. The combination of the ultra lightness and the great sensor really allowed me to flick onto my targets and run through the course in Modern Warfare 2 Remaster with no issues, and I really enjoyed gaming with it. That doesn't mean that the Thor 2 with the cheaper sensor and body loses out though, because using that mouse, I still managed to score the fastest time that I've ever achieved in this time trial. I tested the mouse again in AimLab, and again I found myself being able to flick with great accuracy and experienced no loss in tracking. So let's close things off by discussing the pricing of the Fantech UX2 Hive. In Malaysia, it's officially priced at about 170 ringgit, but you can find it for as low as 150. This makes it the USD equivalent of $36, and at that price, it's honestly going after some pretty stiff competition from the likes of Razer, Corsair, and HyperX. What this mouse offers though is great build quality, a great sensor, great weight, pretty good software, and I think just about the only thing I didn't really like about the mouse is the scroll wheel. Fantech has honestly got a pretty stellar gaming mouse on their hands, and if you are looking for a good lightweight mouse and you play a lot of FPS games, then I feel that you should definitely have the Fantech UX2 Hive on your shortlist. To be honest, I think that the competition is even stiffer here in Malaysia because at that price point you have a plethora of great gaming mice to choose from, with this mouse being one of them. Anyway, as usual, do the YouTube thing of liking this video if you liked it, subscribing, dropping a comment down below on what you think about the Fantech UX2 Hive, or maybe what you'd like to see me cover next, and remember to get notified with the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my new videos the moment that they go live. This is Yang, the Tech Rodent, and I will catch you guys in the next video.